Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Prep Talk Live Show. If it's your first time here, my name is Kissa. I'm a food entrepreneur based in the LA area, and I go live every single Monday to just talk about the food business, what's going on in life, what's going on with the world of our business, and how I plan all of that every single week. So if that sounds interesting to you, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and catch me every single Monday around 12-ish p.m. So I'm a little bit early because Micah went down for his nap a little bit early today. If you don't know, I have a son. His name is Micah, and this is the only quiet time that I get throughout the day. So that is why I go live at this time. It's basically when he goes down for his nap and I have some time to just chat and talk with you guys. So welcome. I also do videos for entrepreneurs that are in the food and product industry, specifically those people that want to start doing pop-ups or are doing pop-ups. So if that also sounds interesting to you, make sure you subscribe. Last thing is, if you're catching this replay, I will put timestamps in the description below. That way you can jump from topic to topic, just in case you're looking for something specific. But that's it. Today, I'm planning on talking to you about the updates I've made to my Notion setup. I use Notion, the app, to plan not just my personal life, but also my business. So I want to walk through that with you because there have been some updates that I've made recently, but more specifically, like throughout the year. I just started observing things and wanted to just start implementing some things that I knew would be beneficial for us as a business and in my personal life, just to make my life a little bit easier. So I thought I would share that with you today, just so that if you use Notion or if you're looking for a productivity app to help with planning your business or planning your life, I figured I could show that to you, and it'll give you kind of an insight of what's possible. Granted, I always want to put this out there. I've been using Notion for quite some time now. I want to say I've been using it for almost 2 years, probably. And so I've learned a lot about how my mind works and what is useful for me when it comes to productivity. So this is a little more in the intermediate advanced level. If you want to check out how to just get started with Notion, I'll link a video down below for you that I created that basically kind of walks you through how to use Notion's templates, because they have templates already set up for you if you want to create a weekly agenda or a daily agenda or a monthly planner, that type of thing. So I will link that down below if you are not quite there yet. But if you're curious to see what's possible, that's what this week's live show is going to be about. Before that, let's dive in to what happened last week, what I have planned for this week, and then we'll go into the Notion stuff. So if you can't hear it, I'm still congested and I'm still sick, but I am getting better little by little every day. So it's just a process, I guess. I've been sick for the last couple weeks, but I have been doing better. And so still there, if you're wondering, that is what's going on. But last week. So last week was a great week as far as productivity goes. I feel like I really stayed on top of just like the things that I was setting out to do. One thing that I really wanted to do was to make sure I stayed on top of using Notion throughout the day. I tend to only open it up in the morning and I look at my, to-do list, or I look at what's on the agenda and I'm like, okay, this. And then, excuse me. And then what happens is, in the afternoon during lunch, the day goes by, a lot changes. Maybe there's, something that comes up that needs to get taken care of. And then in the evening, I'm done for the day, and I never open it up again. So I was very intentional this past week on opening it up, and I knew it would. Come on, we all know this. Like, if whatever productivity tool you use, whether it's Notion or Evernote or a journal or a planner, whatever it is that you use, as long as you use it, it's going to be beneficial and it's going to work, right? So that was the case for me that last week. I opened it up every day. I was very intentional about opening it up in the morning, in the afternoon, and at night sometime, and it worked. Yeah, simple as that. And so I was really happy with the things I was able to get done. There were obviously things that just I didn't get to. And, regardless if you have a productivity system or a planning system or not, there are just some things that aren't going to be able to get done. Life gets in the way. A quote unquote fire needs to be put out, so you have to reprioritize things, and that's just the natural nature of life, right? Like, you can't just plan and expect that everything is going to go your way. I used to think that, oh, if I write it in my planner, then that's how it's going to go because I said so. And I was so wrong, right? Like, I'm sure I'm not the only one out there that was like, well, I wrote it in my planner. How come it's not working out the way that I thought it was going to? Well, it's life. So there were things that I didn't get done. One of the things that I kind of had on my list that I wanted to accomplish was my project for the month of October is to get our kitchen just more usable. We have a small pantry. We don't have like a large pantry closet type thing. We only have a cabinet, and it is just so disorganized. I don't even know what's in there, to tell you the truth. And last week it was on my list to organize it, go through it, because I bought these drawers, these pull-out drawers for our pantry, so that if something's in the back corner of the pantry, it's not just going to be lost in the abyss forever until I decide once again that I want to reorganize. Because if it's in the back and I can't really see it, it's just, I forget that it's there. So I bought these drawers from Amazon that are on a track, so you can pull it out like a drawer, and I want to put it in there. I bought 2 actually. So I want to put it into our pantry. So, the first step is to take everything out so that I can have my husband Charlie put those in, and I'm not doing it. And I think he's kind of relieved too, because it's just another thing that I'm putting on his to-do list that I want him to get done. So I'm sure he's relieved that I haven't gotten to it yet, but that was on my list. It's going to be moved to this week. And, that's just one of the things that I didn't get to. And normally I'd be like, Kissa, bad on you. You're horrible. You didn't do what you said you were going to do. I've learned to give myself more grace and just say, hey, you didn't get to it. It's all good. It's still there. It's waiting for you. So whenever you're ready, just do it, So I think that's going to be on my list of things to do. Part of the reason also is when I do have the motivation to do it, it's during the day. And if Micah is awake, my son Micah, he will and I put, cans and bags of snacks and all that stuff laid out on the kitchen floor. He will be like, ooh, snacks, ooh, cans, and he'll mess with stuff. So I'd rather do it in the evening when he's asleep for the night. But at night, I'm just I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to do anything productive. When he's down for bed, I'm like, oh, this is my chance. So that too, it's just one of those things where I'll find time. Next week, my hope is my update for you on the live show would be yeah, I did it. It looks great. And I'll be able to show you a before and after picture. So that's my goal. And then the other thing that happened last week that I wanted to share with you guys is, I'm looking at my reflection. Ooh, tangent really quick. I have been doing my daily and weekly reflection ever since last week, and I love it. obviously I just needed time to carve out of my day to actually reflect. So my time to reflect is actually at night before I go to bed. And what I did this past week was literally just right when I laid down. I usually go on my phone a little bit before I start to doze off. And so what I did was, instead of go onto YouTube or scroll through Instagram or whatever it is, I decided that I would just go into Notion instead first, and then fill out my reflection. My reflection questions are probably like, I don't know, 5 questions long. So, and it takes about 5-10 minutes for me to do. And I just found it so beneficial. So I saw how quick it was on Monday last week when I first started doing it. And I was like, this is 5 minutes. I could easily do this every single night. So I did it Monday through Friday. Over the weekend, I dropped off a little bit because we had a pop-up on Saturday, and then we had another pop-up on Sunday. So I was just kind of tired and exhausted, and I didn't even create a daily agenda on Saturday or Sunday either. But, it's the weekend, so it's okay. But I'm going to start back up today, Monday, and go through the rest of the week. So I'm really, really happy that I decided to prioritize daily reflection again. Once I get into that nightly habit of doing it, I'm going to also implement morning reflections. And so I'm not going to do it right away. I'm not going to commit to it just yet. I'm going to probably start committing to it maybe in the new year, because I want to get in the habit of one thing first and then add that other thing once it becomes part of my natural rhythm. I don't want to bombard myself with all these aspirations that I want to start doing starting today. I don't want to go from 0 to 100. I want to slowly build up so that I don't feel like I'm overwhelming myself with all these things that I want to accomplish or all these things that I want to do. So that's going to be how I'm going to do it. I just feel like in the evening it's better, but whatever works for you, you can definitely reflect in the morning if that's when you feel like it's most natural for you, or in the evening. For me, it's just more natural to do at the end of the day, because I like to think about what good things happened, just to count my blessings in the evening. I also like to write down things that are just in my head that's like, Kissa, you should do this, Kissa, you should do that. That way it's out of my head and somewhere where I know I can reference it so that I could sleep better. So that's the reason why I do it at night. And then last update, like I said, we had a pop-up on Saturday and another pop-up on Sunday this past weekend. And so we were busy with work. We only do 2 pop-ups a month now, recently, just because we're so busy with wholesale that, we work a lot during the week now. Before, we would work much more on the weekends. But since our business model has changed to be predominantly wholesale, we work basically Monday through Thursday, and then we take a day off on Friday. And then if we have pop-ups on Saturday or Sunday, one or the other will take a day off. But this particular weekend for the month of October, it just so happened that both of our pop-ups fell on the same weekend. So we mentally prepared and we enjoyed the other weekends where we didn't have any pop-ups, but it's just exhausting, when you have to do it back to back and it's not at the same venue or it's not the same organizers. It's 2 completely different events. It's just, it's just a little bit harder on you physically because you have to set up in one place, tear down, and then you have to restock your product. Like if you sold out, like we sold out of a lot of things on our Saturday pop-up, so we had to bake more and prepare more product for the Sunday. So back-to-back pop-ups are just a little more stressful than others, but we prepared, so mentally I was ready. Physically, I was ready to go to bed at 8 last night. I was just so tired. So was Charlie. It's just how it goes, but yeah. So we had 2 pop-ups. one pop-up, which was on Saturday. It was our first time being in that area. We were in San Dimas, which is in the San Gabriel Valley here in Southern California, and we have tons of customers there that order from us online, and so we did a pop-up event there, and it was great. Like, despite the weather, it was kind of drizzling, so I wasn't sure if people were going to show up or not, but the customers turned out despite the weather. And so thank you guys. Our customer base in that area, like, you really showed up, you showed out, and like, I'm so grateful. It was so great to meet a lot of you in person and to just have conversations with you guys. It was great. Thank you to our hosts, Coney Island Creamery. It's been such a long time that we've wanted to work together on something, and so I'm glad we were finally able to do it. So that was Saturday. We did surprisingly well. Like I said, the weather was my only concern as far as like whether we were going to do well or not, and we did excellent. And then on Sunday we had our regular monthly pop-up at our home base store, which is Cafe Aficionado. Our friends Abby and Reggie own that cafe here in Northridge, and so we do a monthly pop-up with them. And so we did a brunch pop-up this weekend on Sunday, and it was great as usual. And I just love the people that participate in that event, just because it's local friends. It's, people here where we live that are just trying to live that entrepreneur life, right? Like, and it's so great to see some new vendors, a lot of regular vendors that we see on a regular basis, just like coming together and to see the products that they sell and make and the pride that goes into it and how hard everybody works. I just love it. I love doing our pop-ups at Cafe Aficionado. It was also kind of a gloomy morning, and then the sun came out around, I want to say 11, and that's when the crowd started really picking up. And so it was another successful event. We always do super well at that pop-up because it's where our home base is, and it's where most of our customers live, because that's where we live. So it's great. We're also able to, every time we do a pop-up at Cafe Aficionado too, an old regular from our old restaurant comes. And so this week, or last weekend, yesterday, it was no different. There were two that came that were just regulars of our old restaurant, and they finally were able to come to a pop-up. And it was great. It's so great to be able to still see our old customers and be able to serve them, even if it's just once a month. And then they're also able to support Cafe Aficionado and a friend by buying coffee or buying something else from them. So it's great to be able to share that love that we have for our customers with other fellow vendors. So it was great. Thank you to Abby and Reggie at Cafe Aficionado for always having our backs, for always just being open to having us at your place, to being such great friends, and to being such a pillar to the community. Thank you for that. And it's always such a great time. We always do super well. So it was great. It was a great week all in all. I'm just really happy that we were able to participate. So that being said, this week, I do feel a little bit more rested this week. I want to continue the things that I was doing very well last week. Of course, I want to continue it this week. So I'll be implementing that. And then also the things that were kind of put off, like I said, the pantry organization, a few other projects that I didn't really get to. I'll be working on that this week as well. We only have one pop-up this weekend. It's going to be in the South Bay area in San Pedro, and it's our first time popping up in San Pedro too. So we're going to be posting details about it this week. And so that's going to be really exciting to see, because we also have a good customer base in that area. So it's going to be really exciting to see who will be able to make it and all that stuff. So yeah. Okay. So we have a pop-up that we're preparing for on Saturday. Halloween is this Sunday. We actually don't have any plans, but we do have a costume for Micah. I borrowed my best friend's costume that I'm going to wear. And then Charlie needs to kind of put together his costume, but he pretty much has it. He just has to like finalize all the details for it. But we have nowhere to go. So there is one event on Friday at our local church that we might attend. So we're thinking about doing that, but we'll see. And then it also all depends on the weather, right? Like it's actually gloomy and raining today, and I love it, but it's obviously not conducive to outdoor events. So we'll see what the weather is like come Friday, come this weekend, and we'll find somewhere to go where we can dress him up, since I bought his $25 costume, which I was like, $25 for something he's only going to wear once. I mean, when you see the photo, if you follow me on Instagram, I'm sure I'm going to post it at some point, but it's definitely not something that he can wear regularly. So, spent $25 on something he's only going to wear once or twice, if I can find another opportunity for him to wear it more than once. So we'll see what happens. So that's what's going on for us this weekend. And then the rest of the week is kind of up in the air. We're still waiting for confirmation from our wholesale clients to see if anyone's going to be ordering. We do have an order that's going to be due this coming, or a week from today, so next Monday. So we'll probably be preparing for that. But other than that, like it seems like it's going to be a pretty easygoing week as far as work goes. That being said, that gives me the opportunity to work on side projects that I haven't been able to really invest a lot of time in. And so I'll be probably working on that this week, which is mostly my coaching business. So I'm going to be working on just this online course that I purchased, getting through that, making sure I work through all of it, growing the plans and just kind of cultivating those plans that I have for 2022 for the group coaching community and just all that stuff. So I haven't been able to work on that the last like month or two, and so finally I feel like we have that stride where we're like, okay, it's not stressful anymore, we're pretty good, so we're gonna go from there. And then the other thing that I'm gonna be working on this week is I'm going to be following up on some wholesale clients that reached out. We already created conversation, and just to see how everybody's doing. And then last thing is our holiday products. So we already know what we're going to be selling. We know how much we're going to sell it for. However, I need to take product photos. We need to prepare our marketing for it, that type of stuff. So I ordered a light box that is like foldable and collapsible. I ordered a light box from Amazon. It's going to be coming on Tuesday. I'll let you guys know how I like it. But when it comes, then we'll be working on creating product photo for that, because I definitely want to make our holiday product announcement ASAP. Because if you go to any retail store, all the holiday stuff, all the Christmas stuff is already out, and it's, not even Halloween yet. So, as a retail business, I know we're not going to get holiday Christmas orders right away. I mean, that's not the point. The reason why a lot of businesses put holiday product out so early is because they want it to be in the back of your mind. So they know you're not going to buy it right away per se. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. But they know that it's just planting the seed in your mind that, Christmas is coming up, the holidays are coming up. What are you going to buy? Are you going to buy anything new? What about gifts? Like all that stuff. They're starting to like plant those seeds in your mind, because come Thanksgiving, they know you're going to remember that you saw that one thing that you knew would be perfect for your best friend, for your brother and sister, for whoever, and you're going to go try and find it from wherever you got it. So that's why they put out product early. It's not to get you to buy it right away. It's just to plant the seed in your mind. So if you're a retail business and you haven't put out holiday product announcements yet, start to think about that and try and, do it in the next couple weeks, because you definitely want to have those announcements out before Thanksgiving. Because people want to know, what's the haps? What are you selling? What are, and a lot of people are going to be buying gifts early this year because of all the news about like the backlog at the ports and all that stuff. So if you're a small business, capitalize. It's a good time because all of those exported things that aren't made in the USA or aren't handmade, it's going to be harder to get. And so it's a great opportunity if you make handmade local things. It's a great opportunity to promote that your stuff is made here. You're going to prepare that, hopefully you will have plenty for people, and so start thinking about those things and really create a plan so that you could do a nice big push no later than like the next 2 weeks. So that's what we're doing. I'll share more updates with you guys on that next week too. I'll show you some photos that we took from the light box and just all that stuff. And then I'll also be posting some behind the scenes stuff on my Instagram, so you can follow me on Instagram. I'll put the link in the description as well, as far as like just updates on like what we're doing to prepare for the holidays. Okay, so that is what we have planned for next week. Let's go ahead and dive into the updates that I've made for the Notion setup. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, had to cough, put you guys on mute because I don't want to break your eardrums with that. Okay, so let's go ahead and share the screen. And then after we do the walkthrough, I will go over affirmations. Here is our our Notion dashboard. So I've mentioned this in the past. If you're just starting with Notion and all you're using it for is a planner or a weekly agenda or a monthly planner, whatever it is, you don't need this. But I use it because this is my second brain. Everything that I think about, every interaction I have with someone, when it comes to like meetings, all my goals, everything pretty much goes into my Notion setup. And so I definitely, let me make this bigger so you guys can see it. Okay, so I definitely need an HQ because otherwise it would be so hard for me to find things. The other thing that I use my HQ for is I use it as a place to remember that I use it as a placeholder for things that I don't want to forget. So a good example is I put quotes here, not just for decoration, but I want to remember these things when I have a situation where I maybe feel disappointed in myself because maybe something didn't turn out the way I wanted, or whatever, if I'm just feeling down or I need some inspiration, I put this here. And the reason why I put it on my HQ at the very top instead of just another page maybe down here for quotes is because I want to remember these specific things, especially when I'm not having the best of days. So one of them is stubborn about the goal, flexible on the approach. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Oh, excuse me with that. Why did it go through if I said do not disturb? That's so weird. Okay, for 1 hour. There we go. Anyway, so that's why I have this hub. I could also just automatically skip to my weekly agenda, but let me tell you why I don't. And I always open my hub first. It's mainly because there are things that I don't want to forget. For example, this 2021 forecasting is my goal setting section. And so if I have to look at this first to scroll so that I can scroll down to get to my weekly agenda, I'll remember I should, like, if I see 2021 forecasting, I'll probably say, oh, I should really revisit my goals, which we'll probably do next week because The end of the year is approaching. We will only have 2 months. I'm sorry, 2 months left in 2021. So we'll probably go over that next week. But that is why I always open up my HQ, because it puts everything at the forefront that I normally probably wouldn't remember to even look at if it weren't always at the front of my mind. So I used to have that habit of, I set goals on January 1st, and then I do really well, probably in January, maybe February, and then I forget about them. And then I don't even revisit the goals until maybe October, November of that same year. And then everything in between, just, I don't do anything to move my goals forward, right? And so that's why I like to have my HQ instead of just jumping into my weekly agenda. I always visit my HQ first so that it's always at the front of my mind. And then if I happen to see it, I'm like, 2021 forecasting. I haven't opened up that page in a while. Then I can go into my weekly agenda, and then I can put it in here as a focus to do today, right? So since we're here, let's go ahead and work on the weekly agenda. So a few changes. If you want to see my original setup and the templates and all that stuff, I have the walkthroughs in previous Prep Talk live shows. So I will put the link to how to create this template down below. Or if you want to duplicate my exact template, then I'm happy to share it with you. Just DM me on Instagram and I can give you access to it. That way you could create this template and then customize it as you see fit. But anyway, few changes. I created drop downs for these, and I made it more of a like template looking. Before, my template would just be like bold, and it was just not visually appealing to me. So what I wanted to do is leave these blank if there's nothing inside. So when I load my template, this is what I see. And then for me to actually look inside, I have to click on these toggles. So I like it like this because it just looks cleaner, first of all. And if I don't have anything to purchase this week in my shopping list, I can keep it closed. I don't have to have it open if there's nothing there. But also, I could also leave it open the rest of the week when I have something that I really want to work on. So I changed the colors to my brand colors, which is green and yellow and gray and white. So it just feels more like my personality, and it's just easy for me to fill out because it feels like a form. It doesn't feel like this like weird template that I created. So this week's affirmation, we'll go through that at the end. I'll type in my affirmation here, and then my 3 focuses for this week. So like I said, one is pantry organization. I mentioned that to you guys already. Another thing is the pop-up on Saturday. And then let's just say have fun for Halloween. So those are going to be the 3 focuses that I'm going to have this week. If I can work on anything else, then great. I know I also mentioned like my side projects, like my coaching business and all that stuff. Those are also going to be something that I'm going to work on, but these are extremely important to me, and I only want 3 because I used to put like 5, 10, and I would never get to them, right? Because there's just too much. And that's why I put no more than 3, Kissa. Like, just pick 3. That way, if you get those 3 done and you have more time, then work on something else. But these are going to be the game changer things that will make you feel like you accomplished something really good, and it'll give you that motivation to do more if you want to do more, but you don't have to. So that's why I only pick 3 projects. Another thing is the shopping list. I definitely need to buy more tissues. Oh, this house, we're going through them really quick. So I need to buy more tissues. I need to buy our dog Evie more food, dog food. And then, I need to scour the internet for dinosaur toys. So Micah loves dinosaurs, and he doesn't have any dinosaur toys of his own, but we take him to like a class every single week. And every time we go, he sees the dinosaurs. He loves to play with them. So I'm going to get him a set of his own. That way he has some here that he can play with if he wants to, but he loves dinosaurs. When he sees them on TV, he's just like, I love them. So he starts roaring and like does all the cute things. So I'm going to look for that. And anything else that I might see or remember throughout the week, this is my spot where I need to put it. So last week, I know I had milk and half and half. I bought those last week because it was on my shopping list. And I open up this weekly agenda every single day. So the shopping list is always there. I can't tell you how bad I used to be when, when I didn't have this list, or I would put the list somewhere else. I would create a list and then I would go to Target or the supermarket, wherever I was going to go. And I would walk up and down the aisles, and I was so sure that I picked up everything. And then when I came home, I was like, the one thing that I went there for, I didn't buy. It happens to me all the time. And so that's why I created this shopping list, because especially, you own a business, you have your personal life, and like you have your place. Like for us, it's our home, but if you have an apartment or a house, whatever it is, there's so many things that you have to take care of, right? And so this is just a shopping list for everything, whether it's business or personal. I put it all here because it's just easier, right? So, it just all goes into this like area, and then I pay for it with the correct account, whether it's a business account or a personal. Okay. Next thing is our daily journal. So with the daily journal, it's pretty much the same. I still like to filter it. So I just make sure that the date is on or after Monday, which is today. So that's how I like to filter it. That way I only see all the daily journals from this week. So when I create today's, let me show you the template for the daily journal. I always put Monday, 10/25/21. That's how I label all of them. I put the day of the week and the date, and then I link it back to the corresponding weekly agenda, and then I fill all this out daily. So the thing I wrote down as far as what I'm grateful for today is the rain, because it doesn't rain here in LA. So I'm grateful for the rain and the nutrients that it gives the soil. So I have a garden back, and whenever it rains, there's just nutrients in the rain that just like you can't get when you're watering your plants from a hose, because it's coming from the tap, right? Because there might be like it might be filtered, or it might be clean, or not clean. It might be chlorinated to disinfect the bacteria and all that stuff. But when it comes from the rain into the soil, it has more nutrients than coming from a hose. So I'm very grateful for that. Okay, things that I've changed in my daily agenda. I've changed the order of these properties, these things that I'm, tapping on here. They're called properties. And this is stuff that you could see if you do it in a table or whatever it is. You could see these things at a glance, or you could filter, you could filter these properties. So if you're looking for something specific, like if you wanted to see how much water you've been drinking, or I wanted to see all the gratitudes that I wrote down from this past year, like you could filter all of that stuff. But also it's at the very top, and I like to put them in order of the way I want to fill it out so that I don't skip. So I always fill this out first. I put in my gratitude because I want to make sure that's the first thing I do. I want to write down what I'm grateful for. And then I talk about how I'm feeling. I always do the feeling after because sometimes, you wake up on the wrong side of the bed and you're grumpy. And then possibly by writing down what you're grateful for today, you might actually change your mood a little bit. So today I am feeling grateful. I'm feeling, let's say fresh, because the fresh air from the rain, I love the smell of like the rain and like the wet grass. Yeah, I just love that smell. And then, if I am not feeling well, I'm honest, right? Like I don't want to pretend like I feel happy all the time, I'll just say I'm content. And the only reason I'm content is because I'm still sick. So if I wasn't sick anymore, I think I'd be much happier. And then my mantra focus, this is usually my affirmation, what my theme is for today. So I want to maybe just get through the day because it's rough. I want to focus on cleaning. I want to, practice self-care. I want to practice my productivity. I'm going to pick productivity because I want to continue that trend of, checking my Notion setup weekly. I want to make sure that I check it throughout the day. I also want to do my reflections at night. So that's going to be my theme for the day. I haven't started my water. That's so bad. Okay, I'm going to do that after. I've actually been drinking coffee, so bad on me. I need to have 3 hydro flasks a day, and I have 0, and it's already 12:30. Ooh, that's not good. And then at the end of the day, I write down something that I'm proud that I accomplished, and then also any observations I made. Like, I noticed that I didn't start my water early. I didn't fill up my canteen when I woke up. So I'm going to be aware of that and then and do it tomorrow. Everything else here is pretty much the same. There's 3 tasks that I'm going to do. I'll fill that out later. What can I do today to move the needle forward? That's still the same. My tasks are always filtered by the day of the week. So Monday, this is what's on my task list for today. And then my daily self-care. I changed this a while ago. I haven't shared it with you guys yet, but this is new. It's not necessarily a night routine. It's just something I want to do throughout the day. So fill up water, which I haven't done, which is why it needs to be there. 30 minutes of activity. I'm going to be taking Micah to his class today. So I have to chase him around while I'm there. That'll be my activity for the day. Skincare routine, prayer, that type of stuff. So I put that there just to make sure I don't have to necessarily do it at a certain time. I just want to make sure that I do it. So that's what I did for this. And then daily reflection, it's for the evening, like I said. So nothing much has changed there. Let's go back to our weekly agenda. So the daily journal, and then I have my tasks. Nothing has really changed here. I just use it more, which I'm very happy about. And then my weekly reflection. Nothing has changed here either. I just used it last week. So nothing really has changed in that regard. It's mostly at the top that has the most changes. And I feel like it will continue to change more, especially probably visually, because you can see a lot of my stuff used to be in blue. I'm going to change it to green and yellow, that type of thing. And then I'll probably make the reflection section a drop down so that it's like, I don't have to scroll so far down if I don't want to. So it's just going to be a few visual updates. And then that's pretty much it. And then what I think I'm going to be doing for starting in 2022 is my daily journal. I'm going to try and do a photo a day challenge in 2022. I've been thinking really hard about it, but I want to do a photo a day because I really do feel like Micah is just growing up so fast, and like time just, I don't know, it just moves so quickly, right? And I want to savor and I want to like remember as much as I can. And it's really hard to. It's not like I don't it's really hard to just be present. So I want to be present as well and not just be behind the camera all the time. But I want to at least get one photo from the day, just so that at the end of the year, I can turn it into like a book. And so I want to challenge myself to do that. So what I'll do is every day I will create a cover for that particular photo that I did of the day. I think that'll be a really cool like challenge that I give myself. But right now it's just blank. So that's what it looks like. It looks like nothing. But yeah, so that'll be the photo a day. And then for my weekly agenda, I always have a word for the year. So this year my word was cultivate. And so what I want to do is I'm going to create a cover photo, and then I'm going to hand letter my word for 2022. And every single week, it's going to be the same cover photo. It'll be the hand lettered word that I choose. And it'll be the cover every single time for my weekly agenda. I noticed that it's really helpful visually to be able to see things that way, because as I grow my Notion setup, it's so hard when you have tons of weekly agendas in your Notion setup. So at some point there's going to be tons of Octobers, and if I choose something visual to be my icon, for example, for 2022, then I'll know that, oh, the hibiscus flower was the icon for 2021. So that's not the one I'm looking for. I'm going to look for the one for 2022. So I'll share with you guys what that icon is, and I'll share that cover photo with you guys just so you can see it. But now that I'm kind of using Notion a lot, I realize how important these visual cues are for me to like find things a lot faster. So like I said, 2021, I think the icon for my weekly agendas is going to be this hibiscus flower, because we went to Hawaii this year for my brother-in-law's wedding. So that's going to be the theme. Maybe next year, maybe it'll be related to a word, my word for the year. Maybe it's going to be based on a trip that we might take. Maybe it's going to be, I don't know. Who knows what it's going to be. But I'll pick one, and then we'll stick with it throughout the rest of the year. So let's go back to my HQ here. Oh, you know what I can do? I'll just go here and go Kissa HQ. So that is basically all the my HQ has pretty much stayed the same. Oh, there are a few things that I've changed as far as my quick reference. So this is our hub for the business. I've kind of shared this with you guys already. I've also added a team dashboard. I moved business information here so that we have like our permit number, our EIN, like all that stuff is ready for if I need to fill out any like applications for vendors or whatever it is, it's easy to find. And then I've created a schedule in our weekly agenda. So if you open it up, you can see when our employees are working. So that has been really helpful because everyone texts different people. And so sometimes like someone will text Charlie, someone will text me, and it just becomes really confusing. So I wanted to create a central place where we have people's contact information. We also have like things like a schedule and things like stuff that we don't have to text back and forth, just so that it's the same information for everybody. Oh, delivery guys here. Evie's barking. Anyway, so that is some of the changes that I've made for the business. I've also showed you guys how I use my CRM for wholesale customers. So if you guys want to see the walkthrough of that, I'll also post that video in the description. And let's go back to the HQ. That's pretty much it. I don't know if I've ever walked through this with you guys. Maybe this will be a future walkthrough, but I also created a home hub for our house so that like when it comes to bills or it comes to like home projects and stuff like that, that's where I put all of that stuff in, because it just makes it a lot easier for me and Charlie to collaborate and write things down and find an easy place to put it. So that is basically that. All right, let me turn off the screen share really quick while Evie is barking up a storm. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm so congested, you guys. I'm still sick. It's horrible. And it's time for me to take Tylenol. But that is pretty much it, guys, for this week. If you guys have any questions regarding the setup, like I said, feel free to send me a DM. I'll be happy to share my template, as well as, the videos that I mentioned. If you're just starting out and trying to figure out how to make sense of how to use Notion or how to use your productivity app, I have videos in my channel that you can check out, and I'll put some in the description below. And then last but not least, let's get into the affirmations. So last week, here is our affirmation. I am fiercely confident in myself and unconditionally respectful of myself. Oh, you guys can't see it because the light is just too... But anyway, that was a good one, because last week's episode, I told you guys about just what I was going through and the things that I had done, and it's just had gone through, and it was just so timely. So it's one of those things where it was very helpful to be able to see that affirmation and to just keep telling myself, because there were times where I was like, did I do the right thing? Am I confident in what I, and I am. It really did help. All right, so let's do this. Let's pick one. Let's do this one. Everything I build today is on the foundation I laid yesterday. Everything I build today is on the foundation I laid yesterday. I've had this one before, but it's a good one. And so we're going to keep it. And I'm going to type it into my weekly agenda so that it's at the top of my agenda and I see it every single day. All right, guys. Well, that is it for this week. Thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, chapter markers will be down below if you are watching the replay. If you have any questions, or if you would like to run something by me, just see what's going on daily life, you can follow me on Instagram at justkissa. All the information will be down below. If you want to work with me, if you would like some coaching or help when it comes to your pop-up setup or your food business, that information will be down below as well. So thank you guys. I will see you next week. We'll talk about goals for the remaining of the year and goals for 2022 in next week's video. And have a wonderful week. Bye.